Well. Hello, and welcome back. Hello, guys. Quite a few of you have shown up right at the beginning of the stream, like when I went live, which is insane to see. And I'm even doubting if potentially the numbers are skewed or something like that. I'm confused. That's a fairly high number to like start the stream. But this is kind of a big day. Well, I say big day. It's really just we're gonna talk a lot. We're gonna catch up. We're gonna talk about stuff. We're gonna talk about the future together. Um, and it's one of the rare dual streams that I'm doing between YouTube and Twitch nowadays because obviously if you guys don't know the whole spiel, copyright issues kind of forced me away from streaming on YouTube because I react to music. So I've been doing it on Twitch, which technically shouldn't be happening, but they kind of are a lot more lenient when it comes to quality, um, or copyright rather, I should say. And here we are in a world where I mostly stream on Twitch now. So for those on YouTube, if you're not on Twitch yet, following me, I suggest you do. But for those who are already on Twitch, thank you. And the reason why I'm doing this on two platforms at once is because today we're going to be talking quite a bit before we get into any sort of music. So we're going to be catching up. Pumpkin Be Cute, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Whoa, it's like 2 days in a row that I get somebody who subscribes with a Prime sub on Twitch. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi. Hope you're doing well. That is crazy. I can't believe people like sub or become members. Like it's still this like foreign concept to me, which is crazy, really. Um, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Pumpkin Be Cute. What a cute name. um, and then I get this like note like banner of like 8 out of 10 subs. I don't know. That's a weird thing. But okay, what was I saying? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Also, let me know if the quality on YouTube is kind of taking a hit because I keep getting warnings that the resolution is way too high. Um, but it seems to be working anyway. So, Pumpkin is your chinchilla. I always wondered how is it to have or to own a chinchilla? I mean, I did consider it a long time ago. Like, it must be so cute. I mean, for a long time, my favorite animal was a ferret, and I wanted to own a ferret. My mom never agreed with it, so I never ended up getting a ferret. But I was like, no, that'd be a kind of a cool, slinky type of animal, just to play around with. Um, but that's cute. Cute name for a chinchilla. Pumpkin, cause round and maybe more gray than orange, but that's okay. Um, yeah, okay. So today, as you may see in the title, we're gonna be talking to my future self. So for some of you who don't know, I did a thing last year where it wasn't even last year, it was 2024 when I celebrated my 2 year anniversary on YouTube for my channel. I did a video talking to myself in a year's time, saying like, "Hey, this is all that's been happening, and here are my predictions and my wish list for the upcoming year." And my third YouTube anniversary came around last November, but it was right as I was moving. So I completely forgot about it. And then somebody reminded me on the stream recently. And so I ended up watching back that video, reacting to it. This is also posted on YouTube if you want to look it up. And we're going to repeat the exercise. It's not going to be in exactly a year's time, hopefully, that I react to it because I'd like to do it back on track for the regular calendar of doing it for the YouTube anniversary, which is like November 26th or 27th. But I will speaking to the version of myself at the end of this year. Uh, so a lot of things can happen in 9, 10 months. Yeah, just about 10 months. And so I have a list of things that I want to talk about, topics that I want to cover, predictions that I want to make. Um, let me, hold on. I'm going to bring that up actually. Okay. All right. I have my list on my screen. I'm actually going to bring it up here like that. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna do that. And then depending on the mood, the energy, there's one album that I'd like to cover today that didn't get the chance to cover yesterday, which was Lily Allen's album. So for those who are gonna want to stick around for that, I suggest that you go to Twitch instead of YouTube because I will stop the YouTube stream at that point. Um, Mostly because of copyright issues. That's all that it is. But I do suggest that you kind of stick around if you want to continue that. Hold on, I'm playing around with my screens and my all my things are set up. Um, it says that YouTube has like a poor quality of stream. Is that is that accurate? It seems to be fine on my end. Um, we should be okay, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So, are we gonna get into it? I think we are going to get into it. It's funny because you look at the video and it's like the shirt looks brown, but it's actually red with like yellow lighting that gives off a brown impression. Um, I don't know, it just popped into my head because I have like literally 3 times myself that I'm looking at. Actually, 4 times. Okay, so we've got my Twitch monitoring for the stream, my YouTube monitoring for the stream, my Streamlabs that is playing right here, and then I have myself in the viewfinder of the camera. Um, so I'm like seeing myself 4 times, which is insane. Okay, enough yapping. Let's get down to business, y'all. The reason why we are gathered here today. We are going to talk to my future self. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about predictions. We're going to start with covering a few of the things that has or have been happening recently so that we know exactly at what point we are. We're going to talk YouTube. We're going to talk Twitch. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. Uh, yeah. Hold on. Have you reacted to Low Life Princess Noir? Because I don't know if you have. I have not. Um, Actually, I think it is the first time that I hear about this. So no, I definitely haven't. But if you want to submit the suggestion, there's in Discord a channel for recommendations that I'll definitely eventually get to. Eventually is the keyword. Um, so yeah. Okay. Let's kind of recap everything that's been happening. So, um, per the reaction video that I made to my old self, talking to my future self. So the 2024 version of me that I recorded saying, hey, 2025 version of you. But then I really reacted as a 2026 version or early 2026. And a lot of the things that I was like, I'm not sure if it's going to happen, ended up happening. So, for example, I went to VidCon in California and I moved, which I wasn't even like, I threw it out there, but it happened. I'm now living alone in my own little space. So that happened. So, uh, I mean, video and YouTube wise, I believe we had determined that I like doubled the amount of subscribers on YouTube. I had relatively shortly before November 2024. So I think it's September of 2024. That's when I started doing the live stream format. Um, and now it's been over a year, almost and a half that I've been doing it. Um, so yeah, that's okay. That's a lot of like YouTube content creation context. Um, I moved. I am. I've changed jobs twice since then. Uh, since 2024? No, because it was technically earlier in 2024. Anyway, okay. So, dear future Zachary, the version from November 2026, unless you're late again, which I wouldn't be surprised. That's kind of our MO, but it is what it is. um, I hope you're doing well. I wonder if it's been a busy year. It's definitely quite the start to the year because well, you moved at the end of November. You changed jobs back in September of 2025. So quite a lot of big changes. Um, this is a year where here's what I hope for myself from a content creation perspective. I hope that A, I'm able to be more stable and more consistent when it comes to creation of content outside of YouTube. And the reason is I've had on my list for a long time to create content on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So not exactly outside of YouTube, but like the short format, the vertical format, because it's really key in terms of growth and building the community and growing as a creator. But because I have a full time job and that uh, it keeps me busy, and I want to have a minimum amount of social life. Um, it's not easy. It's not easy to maintain, especially with big events. It's not my full time job to create content. So, that being said, that being said, I hope that you were able to find something interesting to do, like you know, that you have some movement, that you have some sort of pattern or go-to content that you're able to post as verticals. I don't know if you restarted and maintained like the actual album reviews that you had done at some point, which garnered a couple of, I want to say 1,000 views, um, couple of thousand views on TikTok specifically. Um, I don't know if you can react to movies. That was a struggle over last year. Um, Agatha was really, really fun to do. It did require editing, but yeah, it's something. So it requires time, it requires effort, concentration. I wonder if you're gonna have time for that this year. Getting back to reactions like that. I believe that at the moment we have 18 members on YouTube. Has this grown? How far are you? It would be nice to slowly but surely grow. For those who don't know, the memberships are really at the like bottom price, as low as possible on YouTube. It's 99 cents per month. And really, the only reason why I'm using it is because it pays for the data storage for the videos. Because I have to put them somewhere outside of YouTube to be able to make them accessible without copyright issues. So they're kind of gated in this way. Um, but it'd be nice to have more members. See, I think this is the year, and it's been something that's on my mind, or has been on my mind for a little while now. It's the ability to convert this hobby of mine into an actual potential stream of revenue, and to really consider this a little more seriously from a financial perspective. Um, because Explorer, thank you. That's so sweet. Another Twitch Prime, which is crazy. I and I just spoke about it too. This is 2 Twitch Primes today. Whoa. Okay, thanks. And hey, what's up? How are you? Um, Yeah, I think it's I have several ideas of things that I want to do. For example, um I have been postponing for a long time to create this like one pager with all my stats and the tone and the type of audience that I have to be able to pitch myself for sponsors. So the struggle that I have at the moment, and I have to remind myself that I'm talking to future Zach, so I hope that you did what I'm about to say, is that the struggle is because of the music that I react to and the fact that I don't edit the music for it not to be detected by copyright on YouTube, all the revenue goes to the music publishers. And that's okay. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. It's their content that I'm using in my videos. That being said, I have to look at alternative ways of getting revenue, you know? So, one of the ways is to have sponsors. And so it is something that I've been meaning to do for a little while, and I really hit a peak at some point last year in 2025. So YouTube has like this the monthly audience kind of like number, which is very similar to Spotify's monthly listeners. So it counts like audience members in the last year who like have seen you once, have seen you anywhere between I think it's like 2 and 6 times or 2 and 6 months out of the last 12 months, and um and those who have been consuming your content more than 6 months out of the last 12. And so I have this like monthly audience, or not out of the last 12 but like in a row. Anyway, so um I hit a peak at some point of an audience of like over 100,000 people, which is insane to think about. Insane. And that was just about the time that um I think I was about to move, or like it was sometime in fall 2025. And so if I had been steady from that point and accomplished everything that I had planned originally, I would have been fine. Like I would have kept it and probably made the start making pitches like a lot earlier to get some sponsors on the videos and whatever. But I moved. And then after the move, I was exhausted. It was December. We were heading into the holiday parties as well. I was busy, and I didn't get that. And it slowly went back down a little bit, which is fine. It's part of the game. Like I accept it. Like no resentment whatsoever about it. But um, I need to build that back up a little bit for people to be like, hey, he's worth investing in. He's got a good audience that will actually not just consume the ads, but also, act on them, purchase whatever products and whatever. I work in marketing, so to me, it's like second nature. Having that conversation, I completely understand because I've been on the other side of that discussion before. Um, I've like managed influencer marketing before. So that being said, in 2026, Zachary, did you do your one pager? Did you start submitting them to potential people who could sponsor your videos? I've been talking to some friends to get a bit of help for that. Did you get your friends to help you out with that? um, that's one way of making the revenue. Um, and then yeah, to kind of go back to what I was saying before, have you have you diversified your content? Have you started posting more regularly on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts? Um, they are the best for reaching out to new audiences in a kind of a push fashion rather than a pull for my YouTube videos. So my current videos are like I tackle, say, I guess in a way, like key terms, keywords, such as the artists and the artist name, and I pull them in based on the interest, right? But those other types of content, they kind of push to people, and so it would be interesting for me to really capitalize on that. Mind you, TikTok is a little bit unstable at the moment with everything that's happening in the US, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, so that's one main thing. Now, Did you attend any type of event or networking in the content creator community? I'm currently, as we speak, in the midst of doing a YouTube bootcamp, specifically dedicated to memberships. That's the theme of that bootcamp. And um, the at the end of the boot camp, they will select a couple of creators to have a direct link with the YouTube channel partner manager community or managers and have like an actual person. Thank you for the follow, Dove. I appreciate it. Also, Explorer, hold on. You said people find you via TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and then reach your stream. Sort of. Yeah, or that at least that's a possibility. But also diversifying my platforms means that I can also run campaigns or, work with sponsors that will benefit from those different channels that might reach even different audiences between them. So that's why it could be interesting. Um, and so, but I have to build them. I have to build those networks. So yeah, anyway, back to my question. Did you, end up being assigned a channel, YouTube channel partner manager? Um, B, did you attend any events? Odds are, I mean, you're gonna have to travel or fly somewhere to be able to attend them, because I don't think there's gonna be a lot of them in Montreal. But um, did you happen to meet other creators that way? Did you perhaps ended up going back to like VidCon? Did you attend maybe TwitchCon? That's more like later in the year, potentially, budget permitting. Um, hold on. Okay, so I had a text message that came in. I was like, I can't see what the message is. Um, that's one thing. Did you collab? That was one thing. Okay, so we talked about it in the video when I reacted to my 2024 self. Zach, did you collab with anybody? It's been on the table for a little while. The only other content creator you've collabed with so far is Erica, who's your friend. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. And for a few gaming sessions here and there, but then nothing in terms of like actual content creation, like dedicated project with anybody else. So did you finally connect with someone and did content with them? From a marketing perspective, they say when you're a new product in a new market, the best way to grow is through partnerships. And so this is kind of the same idea. If I want to reach out to other audiences, other markets, one of the best ways to do it is just to partner with other people that have a foot in those audiences and markets. So it would be a smart thing to do. And I know I'm realizing that the more I'm listening to myself, the more I have like business talk, and this is purely the marketing side of me coming out. For some of you who don't know, I've been working in marketing for 7 years, nearly 8, or it has been a full 7 years at the beginning of this month, actually. Yeah, because I started in February 4th, 2019. So I just completed 7 years full time in marketing, um, plus a couple of contracts on the side. So I've kind of been doing more than 7 years because I've been working with like full time jobs and contracts on top of it and offering services here and there. But yeah. Um, oh, great question, Pumpkin. What music streaming do you use so I can send the right request? I actually use YouTube Music. So if you do like just a broad YouTube search, any video that's like the official um, track could work. Um, and so you can send that over to me. Otherwise, I'll still manage to find it. I mean, streaming platforms nowadays pretty much have all the discographies. I started working in 1999. Whoa! You've had a career. You've had a full career. Not that I want to be that person, but I was born in 1996. As a matter of fact, my birthday's coming up at the end of March, and I was speaking to a colleague of mine, and I was saying, "Yeah, I'm like starting to plan my 30th birthday." And then she goes, "You're not even 30 yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I feel older than that." How was your 30th birthday? You know what? That's woo. Good thing I thought about it and I mentioned it. How was your 30th birthday? You have at the moment of recording this, you have a theme in mind, you have an idea, and you I wonder if the execution went well, or if you ended up executing the idea altogether. It's currently all in the brain. It's all an idea. Oh wow. Okay, let me turn off that Streamlabs. This is so wrong. The timer is wrong. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Sorry. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Um, but yeah, how was your 30th birthday? I guess we'll see. Gonna turn off this and turn off that playlist. Okay, cool. Do I send it in a forums things or just Discord? The forums, ideally, please. Just because it's a much nicer way for me to organize them and collect them and go through them. I realized that. Oh, and that's I guess I should say that too. You know, I started really working and creating the Discord community and setting everything up. I think I did it like last fall of really cleaning everything, creating the channels, updating it, and making it a community server. And it was really really fun. But I realized that a lot of people are submitting requests, and so I realized that I needed help to, or I needed some way to organize them a lot better than just like purely in the chat, because that was intense. Um, thank you for the. What is going on today? Thank you for the follow, book buyer, the bookkeeper. Sorry, your name is split into two in my chat, and I guess I should maybe zoom it out like that. Okay, cool. Oh, um, is my camera okay? Hold on. Because I just resized everything and yeah, okay, it looks off. What the hell did I do? Okay, I guess that's better. I don't know, I just resized something and outside of my frames and it just like changed everything. Anyway, but thank you for the follow, bookkeeper or book buyer, the bookkeeper. Um, sorry, I just like slightly spat on my mic. Okay, so we talked about my birthday. We talked about um, I'm still a mess. I'm still very much a mess. I'm realizing this. Like I just had this wave of like self awareness, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm a mess. Um, okay. We talked about content creation. We talked about sponsorships. We talked about my birthday. We talked about a little bit. Actually, I don't have. I was about to say I don't have any plans for traveling. I technically do. At the end of March, right around my birthday, I'm going to Vegas for a week for work specifically. Hey, Mr. Brown, welcome to the stream. Today we're catching up and speaking to my future self. So I gotta keep that in mind. Um, I'm going to Vegas for a week because I'm helping organize a booth at a trade show. But then I'm flying from Vegas to Boston to go see Zara Larson perform on a Saturday. And then I'm flying back to Montreal. So I'm gonna be like traveling for a whole week. Um, which I'm really excited about. I'm really, really excited about. Um, but other than that, I actually don't have any plans for moving. Not for moving, for well, technically moving, for traveling. Mostly because I moved and the cost of rent, trust me, is very different. The budget had to be rebudgeted. And so I have to, yeah, that's, I just have to reorganize my stuff. So that's why I don't have any, because I actually, to be quite transparent. I had to purchase a lot of furniture that I didn't or got rid of in the past when I moved in with my roommate, more my ex roommate, more than 4 years ago, and so I had to re-equip myself with a TV, TV furniture, a couch, um, a dining room set, bed frame. And so I was like, you know what? I spent a lot of money, so I need to chill a little bit. Um, we have all our strengths. Me, I'm not focused enough and kind of messy, so I'm working on those skills. You know what? I relate to that, especially on stream. But at the same time, on stream, I'm kind of like easygoing. I let go, and I just like I'm 100% unfiltered, I think. But I get that. It's all, little bits and pieces of work through time. You've never been to Vegas. Oh. Um, it's it's really interesting. I feel like Vegas, I've been twice before within a span of a year, about a decade ago. And honestly, if it wasn't for work, I wouldn't have chosen Vegas as a destination. It's not like once you've done the city, you've done it. It's fine. Um, but it just so happens that a lot of trade shows happen at in that city. So that's why I'm going. You're currently looking for a new apartment. It's not fun. I know. I've heard that the market is really, really rough. Um, and I remember you saying this in a past stream as well. Yeah. Um, hopefully you find something. It really sucks. Um, the market is just not fun at the moment. That being said, not that I'm planning to move, but in a year's time, are you still in the same place? I hope so, because, well, technically, my lease would be coming up at the end of November 2026. My intentions are to at least do 2 years here, but who knows where life can bring me. So, am I still in the same place? Dear future Zach, what happened? And this is your cue to tell the story. Did you? You did. I have a memory for that, visual memory, so I see it in the chat. Um, okay, so there's that. Then what else? What else? What else? Um, Still the same job. I mean, so far so good. It's doing well, and I can't complain. So I don't see why it would change. Um, I mean, there's maybe one thing that comes to mind, but besides that, I have also the intention of staying at the job, unless I become like a full-time content creator, which that would be insane. I guess we'll see. Oh, no need to apologize. No, 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 it's fine. You gave me an update that you're still looking for the apartment. So that proves how the search is really rough at the moment. So don't worry about it. Um, oh, speaking of content creators and communities, so I think it was at the end of last year that I was, I guess, accepted as part of into the local Quebec content creator association called Acrea, and I've joined the Discord and the whole bit. They have an award ceremony every year, and I missed the mark by like a smidge to be able to qualify for one of the prizes for international uh, presence, I guess, is the best way that I could translate the prize or the award. Um, they said that to be able to be recognized, to be eligible for the that prize specifically, you needed to have 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I was at 7,300 and something, and I was like, you know what? It'll have to be next year, I guess, because yeah, I just didn't fit the criteria. That's because I do my content in English instead of French. A lot of prizes are available for the French content, but I think the rule is that 75% of your content has to be in French to be able to qualify for those prizes. So, yes, exactly. Get influence création. That's precisely it. I was going through all the process, and I should be eligible next year to apply. I'm assuming that my YouTube channel continues to grow that way, but not this year. Womp womp. So, Future Zach, did you apply? Well, technically, the next year is not there yet because you're going to be ideally reacting to this in November. So, did you attend any of their events? Maybe you just attended the gala without applying for a nomination. Did you go to any meeting? Attend any virtual meeting? Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Um, what else? What else? Um, at the moment I'm single. Did that change? I keep laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. But every time I bring that topic up, I just keep laughing. Did you go on any cruise? Potentially. I said one cruise every 10 years. But Virgin cruises are interesting at the moment. Although kind of falls in the same category as like traveling. Don't have the budget for it at the moment, which is fine. It's part of life. Um, what else? What else? I'm leaving the goals and what I'm manifesting for myself at the end, kind of really to end on a high, so that in a year's time I end my reaction video in a bunch of disappointments. Because I think I really set the bar way too high for myself with these manifestations and achievements that I want to do for next year. And so, hello, book buyer. Okay, 10 minutes. Is there a 10-minute rule? I might have set that in place. I think I should change that. Future Zachary, did you change that to reduce to 10 minutes? Sorry. Hi. I apologize for that delay. It's just because I get a lot of and that's a thing that I've realized, like depending on the streams, I sometimes get a lot of people that pop in, submit a link to react to spontaneously, but it's not people that really mean to stick around. They're just looking to promote their stuff, which is a little bit disingenuous in my opinion. So I that's why I started putting in that rule. I do okay. So I'll see if I can reduce it to like maybe half, like 5 minutes. Um yeah. But hi, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I'm curious, how did you find me? Did you find me on the stream or did you find me on YouTube? That's crazy. Everybody has a different time perspective or perception, I guess. It's been 40 minutes. It feels like it's been 7. It has been 43 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Wow, I was getting lost between my monitors. Um, you found me on YouTube. Which video? I wonder, and but you prefer Twitch. Yeah, for streams definitely. Um, I wonder what video you found me on actually, which brings us to the next topic of like content that I will be making over the next year, album predictions, and I know there's a couple people that are expected to release albums. The one that is live. Oh, you found me on a live? Whoa, that's crazy. That's rare. That is rare. Congratulations. You achieved something that like less than 1% of people on the internet does. Um, so what else? Content. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So in terms of albums, I know that Charlie XCX is going to come out with an album soon in a couple of months. I think next month or April. Wuthering Heights, I think is the name of the project. I'll be reacting to it. I know I have a pretty big community of Charlie XCX fans, and so I'll make sure not to disappoint and be there on time for that project. Will Beyonce release a rock album? All hints are pointing to that. Um, I searched music reactions and you popped up as live. Oh, no way. Well, it's one of those streams that I'm currently not doing a music reaction, but yeah, I guess to provide a bit of content or context, I should say. So I don't know if you're familiar with the with Fuslie Leslie, who's a content creator on Twitch and YouTube. She does videos on her birthdays where she's talking to her future self, and then the following year she reacts to her past self and then redoes the same exercise every year. And I'm doing the same, but for my YouTube channel anniversary. So I'm currently talking to the future Zach. And in just about a year's time, I will be reacting to this video and talking back to me. So hi, future Zach. What's up? BTS has a new album coming out in mid-March. That is correct. And I would actually like in late February, early March to do some sort of like K-pop boom and go through a bunch of artists in K-pop that I've been noting down for a while now. And that includes XG, New Jeans, Blackpink, BTS, Twice, and Stray Kids, and kind of going through all the projects that I haven't had the chance to go through previously. So I had listed that as actually connected to the fact that BTS announced their album coming out mid-March. And also Blackpink is going to release a mini album soon as well. I've also had... You have a new album? Wait, who has a new album? They're going on concert sometime in March until next year in March. Potentially. That's a great question. I don't know. That's another thing. Oh, okay, hold on. I'll get back to the content. I have a bunch of concerts that I'm attending this year. There is Jade is coming up. Lights is coming up. Zara Larson, like I mentioned earlier. Ray in April. Khalid with Love in May. Ariana Grande. And these are all concerts that I have tickets for. So I'm wondering how they went. How good were they? Ariana Grande in July. Olivia Dean in August. Doja Cat in November, if I remember all of them correctly. I think that's it. The album I sent is a K-pop artist named BB. Oh. Okay. Perfect. Well, I might be able to squeeze it in. There's a lot of K-pop acts, generally speaking. So I'm gonna have to like go through them. But yeah, around August is BTS. You should go to BTS. I would like to, depending on whether they come to Montreal. That will be the big question because I can't afford to travel for every single show that I want to attend. But the only one being I'm going to Boston, which is just about a 6-hour drive from Montreal for Zara Larson because she wasn't coming. The two concerts that I will be most likely missing out on, and I'm fairly disappointed unless things change. There is Demi. Hold on. Okay, there's Demi Lovato very quickly, and there is Lady Gaga as well, which I don't have tickets for, and I'm so disappointed. I am Canadien. Je suis Québécois. No way. For those who don't know, my mother tongue is French. I'm born and raised in Quebec. J'imagine que tu viens du Québec aussi. Si tu l'es également. Si oui, de quelle région? You have a ticket to the Toronto show for BTS? So they're coming. I'm honestly very confused about their tour. I hadn't kept up. Oh, you're from Ontario. Wait, okay, closer to Toronto, closer to the 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 borders, the American borders, maybe Windsor area, or closer to the Quebec borders, or closer to Manitoba, maybe London, Ontario, Sault Ste. Marie. I'm just throwing it out. What a, could you imagine? That's where you live. That'd be so funny. Okay, in Toronto. Got it. I was just in Toronto actually a couple of weeks ago. Well, a couple of weeks. Back in November. I was supposed to attend a show and it got canceled. I was so sad, but I went to see a friend who moved to Toronto literally 2 weeks before. Okay, you're from London. Well, I mean, close to London, Ontario. I do know the city. I have an approximate idea where it is. I've never visited London, Ontario, but um, yeah. Okay, cool. Pretty cool, fellow Canadian. I appreciate that. Yes, Adela is opening for Demi, and I'm really, really excited. And it's actually part of the reason why I'm really bummed about not going to a Demi concert and the fact that she's not coming to Montreal because I'm gonna miss out on Adela as well. So I know that she's gonna be in Toronto in May. Let's see if I have a change of heart and figure out something to attend the concert. Right, west of Toronto, east of Windsor, in between both. I so did I ever drive through London? Because I've been to Windsor. Oh no, I flew directly to Windsor. Um, I had a friend who used to live in Windsor for a little while because of her job, and I ended up flying from Montreal to Windsor. After it was a wild story. There was a snowstorm. No, there wasn't a snowstorm. The motor for the plane broke, and the flight was completely canceled. And we managed to trade for a flight to Detroit, and then have a friend come pick us up in Detroit. Thankfully, she works for the border agents agency in Canada, it's CBSA. But I got a ticket from StubHub. You brave soul, because I don't trust those platforms. I Yeah, could not. I have to buy it directly from Ticketmaster because I have trust issues. But hey, if you got your ticket, I'm happy for you. And I guess yeah, BTS is in August in Toronto, so I guess I'll have to. Uh, the only time I've been to Toronto, well, actually, technically twice. Once was for Beyonce, and that was a wild, like less than 24 hours. I didn't sleep. I didn't rent a hotel room or anything like that, and I flew back in the morning. And then the other time that I actually rented a room and the show was canceled, but the hotel room was non-refundable, so I ended up going anyway for a little escapade. No way, an hour ago. Look at that. And now we're talking about it. Okay, back to future self, future Zach. I hope that you're still paying attention. Um, okay, so concerts we covered, videos. Hillary Duff and what? There's no way. That's crazy. And wasn't she in Toronto like a couple of weeks ago? Like she was on her tour and she just did Toronto in January. Oh, okay. Content. The albums that are coming out. I mean, I'm trying to think of artists, except for the ones that are already announced. But I feel well, Dove Cameron actually got a green light for releasing her album, so maybe we're gonna be reacting to that. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I feel like a lot of artists released a lot of music last year. Um, I wonder if Adele is going to release something soon. Hasn't, it's been a little while. Not quite 5 years. Um, Potentially. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? In my last video, I was like, did Rihanna finally release an album? Well, she still hasn't. Maybe in 2026. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I wonder what video will be like the biggest. You know, to this day, the biggest video I have on YouTube is still the reaction to the Wicked soundtrack, first part. Um, which is crazy for me to utter out loud. 200,000 views on that video. Insane. Um, did you bust that record? Did you get a video that had more views than that? I wonder. Um, I don't know. I mostly went because my brother loved her. All right. All right. Adela, she's said she's working on an album. I did hear that. So hopefully that I hope that she gets nominated for like Artist of the Year next year at the Grammys. New Artist of the Year. Um, she would deserve it. Absolutely. If you can react to BTS when the album comes out, you might hit the highest. That is true. The K-pop fandoms, and I saw with K-pop Demon Hunters because I posted shorts from the movie reaction edit that I did, and I posted on my YouTube channel. And those are the shorts that work the best, and they have like 20 something thousand views each. Um, so you might be onto something. You might be onto something. We Yeah, I'm gonna have to plan the entire week to catch up on their discography leading up to the release of the album and be quick on it. Ooh, ouch. I just hit my finger. And be quick on it. So that's mid-March, right? Who knows? K-pop might be my I was about to say savior. I guess future Zach will have to say whether or not that was true. Did it turn out to be the success that you sort of half-assingly predicted was going to be? You did find me through the Wicked soundtrack. I know a lot of people found me through it as well, which is crazy. And that's one thing, you know what, that I've always meant to be doing and I completely forgot about. I wanted to do more musicals, like the soundtracks for musicals, whether it's like, I mean, I'm very familiar with the Hairspray soundtrack, but Book of Mormon, um, Dear Evan Hansen, uh, other musicals that I'm not familiar with yet. Yeah. 1 week, you know how much they have, right? Or have you listened to most of it already? Um, I'm able to do it because I can do like 2, 3 projects a night. And so I kind of like stack them up. And I did it for Conan Gray actually. I did like his 3 albums before his release on the Friday. So I stacked them all up. I can do it again. Hello, Ben and Riley. Welcome back. How are you doing? Um, Yeah, today we're talking to my future self in late 2026, potentially 2027 if I'm late again. And we're making predictions for next year, and I will be reacting to those predictions in a year's time. Very Inception-esque. Um, I'm good, thank you. I'm doing well. You know, I should have started my video with that. Like, how am I doing? Dear Future Zach, how are you doing? BTS does not have 500 to 1,000 songs. That is not true. I think today is going to be a yapping stream. I might not even get to the album I wanted to react to. Hold on. Let me look at BTS. I mean, oh, but that's different. I probably would do solo work like later after. So I know that they have quite a few. I'm talking main projects, right? Like albums and mini albums. Um. Anyway, I'm gonna have to catch up. Uh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my research and just like organize everything to do it. Each member has at least one album. Some have three, like 20 main albums and several minis. Yeah, I'm gonna do probably the K-pop. I mean, yeah, the BTS main albums and projects. Um, I know like three songs to be fair. There's Butter. Hold on. There's Butter. I don't know enough. I really have to dive deeper into their discography. There's one song they did with Halsey that I know. Well, mostly because of Halsey. Um. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. I might do like a whole week dedicated to BTS, I guess. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be an event. But see, I can get through probably around like I want to say 45 to 50 tracks per night. So, oh, Dynamite, that's what it is. Thank you, Ben and Riley. Just reminded me of the other song that I knew. Boy with Love is the one with Halsey. Indeed. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Thank you guys. That's why you guys are there. Um, anyway, we'll get there when we get there, but it's definitely on the map. That would I would like to do. Wow, we've been yapping about so many different topics, which is nice to do. Um, I'm trying to think. I guess content wise, did you do a cooking stream? Future Zach? Did you do a IRL stream? Shopping or whatever? I would like to diversify my streams. It's fun to do it from this setup, but it would be really, really interesting to do it. Do something different. What's it? It's all good. It's all good. I don't blame you. It's passion. That's what it's called. Passion. Um, I guess we could head into like more of the manifestations type of like big goals that I set for myself and see how many of them that I did not achieve over next year. Um, I guess when it comes to YouTube itself, I think that in a year's time, if I'm consistent, if I work well, I think that maybe 15,000 subscribers is reasonable on YouTube, and maybe 1,000 followers on Twitch. I mean, I'm currently at 234. Um, so potentially YouTube, I'm currently at just below 7,500. So we're talking about doubling over the next year. I think that's reasonable. Um, just writing your last message. Bit to a session, so let's go with passion. um, yeah, that's it. But like, I would really, really like to focus on short content, vertical content, to supplement and kind of reach out and build that audience, which would be really, really cool. Um, outside of content creation, I have listed a couple of wild dreams that I would love to accomplish. Some of them not very realistic. So let's see, how far are you on the path to achieving them? Okay, let's go through them. Let me pull them up. Let me start my official campaign, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. I would like to host Eurovision. I am not taking myself seriously at the moment, but listen, I have plenty of reasons why I feel like I would be a great fit to host Eurovision. I'm currently not using exactly my hosting voice, but I can definitely change and have everybody call in to vote. Uh, it would be one of my wildest dreams to host Eurovision. Um, and so I'm a huge, like, obviously music head. Like, people discover me for my music reactions. For those who don't know, I have studied a couple of years ago TV and radio hosting. I also do voice acting. I'm very comfortable talking to a to an audience, whether it's in person or virtual. I think as part of my content on TikTok, I would like to do like some sort of campaign of like day one campaigning to host Eurovision and kind of do that journey and see if it picks up. And one day I host Eurovision, maybe in 2027. How are we feeling about this? Do you guys believe in me? Future Zach, what did you do to do this? I know it's a wild dream. That's why I'm putting it really out there. But I feel like that's a top one. And then the rest kind of, if I manage to host Eurovision, the rest of it is easy. The rest of it is easy. Um because I have number 2. I want to be a red carpet correspondent for the Grammys. Once again, maybe in 2027. I would love to be on the red carpet and interview other people. I miss interviewing. I did course, well, I mean, as part of my TV and radio hosting courses that I did a couple of years ago, I learned how to do interviews and I miss it and I wish that I could do it again. So I would love to be a correspondent on the red carpet and talk to artists whose projects I might have reacted to and whose discographies I know really, really well. And I feel like I'm educated enough. Sorry, I just read the message. You will definitely get a girlfriend and boyfriend if you host Eurovision. That is a crazy correlation. I'm not sure I would go as far as saying it's cause and effect, but it will definitely have me get visibility, that's for sure. So probably some causation there. Uh, some correlation there, I should say. Um, can't believe you kept that from earlier. Um, Speaking of which, actually, it just reminded me, Zach, did you work out this year? Did you follow any sort of diet plan that you tried to set yourself up several times for? I have a certain like weight objective just to be healthy because I'm sitting down all the time. It's not really because, it's a mandatory thing. It's just I have a desk job and I also do this and I'm way too often sitting down. So I need to physically move for my health. And also just be careful what I eat because I'm hitting my 30s and God knows the stomach is going to work differently in that decade. So, did you take care of yourself? Um, I usually have a Swiss cheese. I love that expression. But every once in a while, something sticks. I don't get to choose, though. You know what? I get it. I get it. Dogs are good for exercise if you get the right breed. That is true, but in the rules of the building where I live, I can't have a dog that's over 30 pounds. I would love to have one day a golden retriever or a Bernese Mountain Dog. Those are my two favorite breeds, and as a teen child, ash, whatever those years, my family did adopt a what we think is a blend of the two. The dog was found with his brother, and we did not know the exact proportion of the different breeds, but um, we believe there was a mix of the both. You have two Yorkies. Aw. Little Yorkies. Cute. Right? Yeah. Yorkies, hold on. I am I'm doubting myself. Yorkies. Yeah, yeah, the little. Aw, cute. I'm a I'm a big dog type of person, so and will not be in this building. Okay, so we did talk about hosting Eurovision. We did talk about being correspondent for the Grammys. We drove by the whole like wait diet avenue. Oh my god, those are tiny. One is 11 and the other 5 pounds. Whoa. I'm just about 11 times, well, 20 times 11 pounds in terms of weight. So I would definitely crush them accidentally. I that's why I prefer big dogs. Just in case. Just in case. Um Here's the other wild one that I have on my list. Attend the Met Gala. By 2027, did you attend the Met Gala, Zach? Did you get an invite? Can you say? And it's definitely too late for this year. Probably won't have enough time for next year. I'm going to be reacting to this anyway. You know what? It's a good reminder to just keep it in mind, manifest it. You really think they're fragile, but they're good at getting out of the way. At least, at least. Um, so yeah, those are kind of the three big like achievements that I would like to see myself complete. Um, Potentially to be determined. Um, Now, other category of achievements. I want to get a viral video. One video that everybody's like, "Oh, we know you from that." Um, I almost had a feel for it when I discovered that a video of like a minute and a half of me crying on Twitter X to Demi Lovato's Ghost was shared by people unbeknownst to me for 2 months before I discovered it, and it had been liked 20,000 times, or it had 20,000 views to it. I was like, oh, this is kind of like the prelude to the virality that I could have. And so I would like to see if I have a viral moment like that. You know, a Brittany Broski kombucha moment where I become a meme. Actually, this is the next one. Become a meme. I would love to yeah, get a viral video and become a meme. Listen, the amount of faces that I make, the amount of expressions that I have in my repertoire, I feel like I have a lot of meme potential. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Those are kind of really random. Like they're not predictable, right? In terms of hey unknown, welcome back. It has been a minute. How are you? Um we're doing the video for in a year's time. So say hi to the future Zach. Hi, future Zach. Okay. Yeah. I to kind of recap we are currently in the goals portion of the video, talking about the wireless goals that I'd like to achieve. I said that I would like to host Eurovision. I would like to be a correspondent on the red carpet for the Grammys. I would like to attend the Met Gala. I would like to get a viral video, and I would like to become a meme. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Um, Unknown, you were there in the last video from 2024. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine if you're still there in 2020, at the end of 2026, 2 years later? What a journey we've been on. What a journey. In the other achievements that I would like, maybe a little more reasonable and accessible. That's okay. Notification overload on phones. It happens. Happens to me all the time. I would. Okay. I sort of briefly have talked about this before, never into details, but this is me putting it out there. Finally coming to terms with the fact that, hey, I need to put it out there. I need to embody this energy and just do it. I need to, for the lack of better words, shut the fuck up and do it. I would like to put out a song. A track of my own. Maybe in the upcoming year. I might have been working on some stuff. I'm still missing a lot of like self-confidence to really do it. Um I still deal with anxiety. As a matter of fact, this past week I woke up from what I deemed to be a nightmare. I think I might have talked about it in the previous stream, but I woke up from what I deemed it to be a nightmare because I had to perform live in front of other people in the dream without rehearsing. And I woke up in an anxiety attack, literally. My eyes opened wide. And it was one of those like self-aware dreams, lucid dreams. And I woke up anxious. It got to me that bad. That's why I kind of call it a nightmare, because it wasn't a great dream. It's a weird type of nightmare. It's not exactly a nightmare, but it's I think I woke up sweating. Insane, right? I hope I am. I sure hope that you are too. Um, so yeah, anyway, I'd like to conquer that, I guess, fear slash anxiety by putting out a song. I'm saying this as if I'm about to be hit in the face. Um, let's see if that happened, because it's been on the map for a little while. I just haven't been like publicly vocal about it all that much. But I feel like I could put out something interesting. Anyway, that's that. That is that. Um, I, sort of in the same vein, would maybe like to do theater. Maybe join like a little bit of a theater group. Just to like, because I do voice acting, which by the way, I've done more than 70 auditions and I haven't booked anything. And the reason is simple. It's because I'm not part of any union, because I don't have any credits to my name. And it's a lot easier to have access to contracts when you're part of the union, but to be part of the union, you need to have accomplished a certain amount of credits. And so, and when we say credits, we literally mean the credit at the end of like a movie, right? When you see the credits, that's what credits are, right? So anyway, I have an agent, still represents me, still sends over auditions from time to time. I've auditioned more than 70 times for voice acting. And I feel like going on stage might just help kind of like unlock a performance aspect, um, help with maybe of the live singing, performing anxiety that I get. Um, so yeah, kind of putting this on the map, hopefully thinking that maybe I do that one day. Um, yeah. I have at least 3 oral presentations this semester, and I just know I'm gonna fuck up because I always do. See, there's a there's a trick when it comes to TV and radio hosting. When you mess up, acknowledge it. Because the weirdest thing that can happen is like you kind of mess up and then you pretend it didn't happen. Acknowledge it and then move past it, which is not easy to do when it comes with practice, but everybody messes up at some point. I have, everybody in the world has. Messing up is what makes us human anyway. So you're just as human as anybody else. Um yeah, so don't bring yourself too down for it. And also preparation is key. Preparation is key to have all your points prepared, to have all your, your cue cards written, um that you've reviewed your content multiple times and you've mastered it. These are all things that help in terms of managing the anxiety of public speaking, which is the biggest irony in my life. I can do public speaking without a problem, but singing in public, anxiety attack immediately. I agree. Performing in front of a crowd is very different from practicing. Yeah. But see, I think that's why theater would help. So I have that on my radar if I have an opportunity to do so. Could be a fun pastime. Um, and then I added one kind of like extension to that, which I'm like, if I want to dabble into the acting portion, it would be potentially cool for me to film and release some sort of short that I act in slash maybe direct, maybe write the script for, do like a little home project, but that's taken a little more seriously than the high school and college projects that really like we like we are real acting, real script, and really taking the time to um put together a valuable project that could showcase some acting portion of myself. Oh, I know. I'm really good at laughing at myself. I just wish I could be more professional. Well, professional means a lot of different things. Depends what you mean by professional. But professional, you know what? Another suggestion that I have, which is crazy because now I'm I'm very into like advice giving, which I guess maybe at some point we should do a stream of me just giving advice. Um, one thing that I do recommend is know your intro and know your conclusion, because you can improvise a little bit, but as long as you know where you're heading, where you're trying to end, it's a lot easier to be able to improvise. Intro, conclusion, and then you just connect the dots. Master those two elements. You'll see. If you know how to start, it'll kick in automatically. And if you know where to end, you'll just naturally go to that conclusion as you progress. Pro tip. You should, Zach. I'm sure there are some theater practice groups in the city. At least there are somewhere I live. I would have to look for them. And then find the time for it. Keyword, find. Okay, so we talked about releasing a song, doing theater, filming and releasing a short film. Which I'm realizing I've put everything out loud now. Crazy. Fun ones and not serious. We'll see. Pumpkin. Well, to kind of recap. Oh, my pleasure for the advice. Pumpkin, to recap, I have been talking about goals that I have for myself. Some of them wildly out of this world. Some of them a little more realistic, but really challenging for myself. So, host Eurovision, be a correspondent at the red carpet at the Grammys. Crazy. Attend the Met Gala. Sure. Get a viral video and become a meme. Let's see if that happens. Release a song. I'm putting it out there. That's the one that I'm like, ugh. I have some trauma tied to karaoke. Do theater. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Film and release a short that I ideally would like to write, direct, and potentially act in. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of goals. I mean, we obviously talked about like partnerships and sponsorships for videos, more of the tangible side of content creation as a hobby, trying to get as close as possible to making it a real job. Yeah. Oh my God, I've been talking so much, my voice is like, or my throat is starting to feel it. Hydration. By the way, I always wanted to take vocal lessons and I had the opportunity but didn't take it because I was too nervous. That is normal. And to be fair, I still get anxious over it. But I guess you really have to find the fun in it. You know, like if you enjoy it. And it's funny because I'm saying this and I'm also thinking this is very much applicable to me. If you enjoy it as an activity, you can't forget that when you're doing it practicing, you know? The soul of singing is the enjoyment, the liberation you get from it. Just like anything else, you know, if you're like if you want to take a painting class or if you want to, I don't know, go horseback riding or whatever case may be, you can't forget that at the end of the day you're doing it out of pleasure, out of living the moment, and you can't forget that, which is a lot easier to say than to do because you can easily deroute from that as you do it. But that's the thing. We got to remember that we're doing it because we want to, not because we're forced. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Now, I return the question to you guys. I mean, oh my God, I think we've been talking for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to die when I have to react to this because it'll be such a long video. But anything on your end that you're like predicting or questions that you want me to answer of like things that could happen in the next year, topics that we haven't covered? Yeah. What's your take on 2026? What do you want to know? Or what do you predict for 2026? I think I have on my end, I've pretty much covered everything. I'm trying to go through my notes and see if I have. We talked about guessing like the numbers for the channel, the biggest videos. We sort of addressed it a little bit. Oh, Abhishek, hey, what's up? It's been a minute. Hello, hello. Thank you. I appreciate the hug for the future, Zach. I appreciate it. Isn't it crazy? Abhishek, you were here from like really, really, really early on. I believe you were in the original video as well. The first time that I reacted, that I did the video for my future self. Look at us. Look at us now. I'd like to go back because it makes me think I'd like to go back on the West Coast. That trip that I did last summer was really, really fun. Discovering Seattle, discovering San Francisco. I also have a couple of friends in the area that I'd like to see again potentially. So I wonder if I'm gonna have the chance to go back. Hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that maybe words of wisdom for the future Zach? Although technically the future Zach knows more than I do. Technically. Um, what can I say? What can I say to future Zach? Future Zach, I hope that you took the time to rest. There's been a lot of changes recently, and I feel like it's kind of hard to climb back up and reach like full throttle, since everything happening. So hopefully you took enough vacation time to relax, catch up, to no catching up, to just rest, but like on your own terms. Um, did you get some financial stability? Sorry. I mean, I'm not in a bad position or any remotely bad position, but it's a lot of spending that I did recently because of the move. So I just hope that things are a little more stable at the moment, at the moment of the future, Zach. hmm Um, yeah, just it's been a whirlwind, just finding your place in the world, I think, and I know I've personally had quite a lot of like ups and downs over the last year, I want to say. And I'm the truth is, if I'm talking from today's perspective, and then I'll answer your question unknown. Um, I'll say the truth is I'm not quite sure where I'm heading in the sense of like I have dreams and aspirations. I have inspiration, but I'm sort of like, which is not the typical me. I want to say I'm sort of floating and just riding the wave in a way where the my younger self, especially like teenage years, early 20s, I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I would start it and I would have this drive. And nowadays I feel, I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's like just my frontal lobe fully developing. I don't know if it's just general energy and levels and fatigue or lack thereof, depending on the situation. But I feel like I'm just going with the wind, you know? And so I want to, and I guess the question is for you, Future Zach, did you get some of that control back? Of like you have your destiny in your hands and you know what you're doing with it? Because right now I'm kind of floating, just enjoying what's passing by, trying my best, but yeah, I just wish the path was maybe a little clearer as to where I'm heading. But I guess that's becoming an adult, huh? That's what it is. So hopefully you found some sort of clarity over the next year as to where you're heading with everything. Um, and I hope that you're happy because there has been some moments where it wasn't the happiest, and it'd be nice to just you know have a average level of happiness. That's a little higher, maybe. Um, okay, unknown, your question. Do you think you may want to share your progress with music, singing, etc. on Discord before you officially post, if you are at all considering that? To be completely honest, I have considered it in the past. Um, I did think that I should. So here's what I've done musically. I guess putting it out there might help as well. And I will see the progress that I may have made in the next couple of months. Of course, I'm a big music fanatic. I like to listen to music. I like to watch documentaries of artists in the studio writing and producing and performing and like the whole thing. Okay, the whole shebang. But I also have I'm not an expert by any means, but I have a fundamental understanding of how to write music, how to produce music, how to mix, and I'm able to work on music. So much so that I have written tracks before. I have some demos that are probably not as complete as I'd like them to be. At least I have some songs that I've started working on. And I have considered trying to get them to a level that's sustainable to share for people to kind of have a taste of what I have to offer. And then comes two different portions to it. To really put out music, it is expensive because you need to deal with like people who specialize in mixing, mastering, ideally producers, because I'm not a master producer. Um, Ideally go to a studio or at least have access to somebody who's got like the equipment to record professionally at home, which I have a great setup for streaming and whatever, but it's not perfect for like music recording. Um, and I see like there's a bunch of messages. I'll get back to all of them in just a minute, but um, anyway, I just the resource portion and like cost involvement is pretty high, but I'd love to dedicate it. I've talked about it for several years, I think, at this point, that I would like to get to that at some point. Um, and then the other portion of it is the whole like anxiety of performing in a studio in front of a producer, which I mean, that's literally the whole point. But I still have to learn how to deal with that. And there's ups and downs, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I like what I hear, and sometimes I'm like, I hate myself. um, I need to drink more liquids. I'm talking so much. But yeah, I I guess the other thing that I should maybe open up about before I get to all the messages is that I've been accumulating concepts, words, poems, ideas, storylines for tracks, EPs, albums for over a decade now. And they're all stored in my notes. I have drawings of album covers. I have literally an Excel file of words and expressions that I'm ready to use in writing. I have so many ideas for songs that I've documented over time. And what drives me insane, is that I now, many years later, I see artists finally, well, not finally, but like executing the ideas that I had so long ago. For example, one of them, and I don't want to spill all the details because what if one day I get to accomplish them, but I have this album that's like wildlife inspired to a certain extent. It goes way deeper, but the branding especially is like wildlife inspired. And I wanted to do for the cover of the singles that would have been released before the album, sort of blend between my face and one of the wild animals, kind of side by side and half half. last week I look and Zayn announced a brand new album, and literally that's the concept of like that's a design of the album cover. And I have had that idea for like, I want to say like 6 7 years, if not more. So I'm getting to a point where it's like I've stored so many ideas and I've waited so long that now people are actually having the same ideas that I had, and I don't have the originality that I originally had when I thought about it, which is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, all this to say that I have to get on it. Uh, I have to work on music, and I have to share what I have in mind, get feedback, get motivation for people to continue. I mean, time is another problem at the moment where I'm so busy with so many things at the same time that, sorry, I'm just trying to move my chair. Um, I'm busy with a lot of things, and I'm missing time. I wish I could duplicate myself and have a version of myself that goes to work and a version of myself that stays at home and works on those projects. Yeah, anyway, but I guess I should. I should like collect some stuff and like share it on Discord or something just to get feedback. I guess as part of the anxiety, what really helps is like validation. And so maybe it could help to just have some sort of like external validation to say, hey, you're on the right path. It's not the best thing yet, but you're on the right path. Or I kind of like this. And then I can capitalize on the things that people like. So I guess I should. I should. And now it's going to be on my mind for a little while. And I'll think about it. Um, oh my God. I'm alive. I'm alive. Uh, Abhishek, you said, "Yay, the West Coast is the best coast," and always fun to see your YouTube and catch you live. I thank you. I appreciate it. I miss the West Coast. I do want to go back to California as well. I was invited recently to a tour of the YouTube offices in LA, but I couldn't make it because I would have had to fly, and A, I don't have the money for that. B, too short notice. But miss the West Coast. But I'm very grateful that you guys are here, that you guys are still here, that hopefully in a year's time you're still there. Hey, future Zach, are they still there? And yeah, this is gonna be a long video to react to in a year's time. I've been yapping about so many different things, but uh yeah, yeah. Hold on. You said it's still going to be original, and even if someone else did it, Adele's 30, Gaga's Chromatica, or Ariana's Thank You Next are all mental health albums, but still unique in their own way. That is a good point. That is a very good point. So yeah, I guess the question is for future Zach, did you finally release a song? Did you release an entire project? Did you work with producers? Did you finally record? Is something in the works? If so, if it was released, how did it go? How was that experience? Did you enjoy it? Did you film a music video for it? Which would be insane. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's it. Thank you, Unknown, for wishing clarity and happiness and contentness for the future Zach. Hopefully, the future Zach feels it. And no pressure, but but a little bit of pressure. Just enough to get things going, to get the ball rolling. Um, yeah. I think that's it. Future Zach, I hope things are going well. And have fun talking to the future Zach in 2027. Wait. Well, yeah, 2026, technically November. 2027. Oh God, I'm getting lost in the whole like metaphysical portion of it. Explorer. I've been working on songs, writing, and singing since 16 years old. Wow. I've never made a full commitment to it, only because I've dabbled in many things. See, I feel that challenge um of dabbling in so many things and having so many interests that it's hard because you're spreading across too many things to focus and hone in on certain skills or projects. And you've been on your own. Family has basically disowned me. I am sorry to hear that. That is not correct, and it sucks. And I know that it doesn't make up for it, but hopefully you found communities of people that make you feel like you belong. You know, whether it's friends, whether it's online communities, just even artists and their communities, just like groups of people that make you feel like you belong and that you have a place in this world. And I get it because I don't have the best of relationships with my family, not for the same reasons, but it's it doesn't stop there. You know, there's more to it than that. Um, so hopefully, yeah. Hold on, I'm still. I need more saliva. I've been talking nonstop for 2 hours. You have a Josh Groban and Andrea Bocelli voice. It's like when I did that Italian accent that I posted one time on Instagram. I don't know what I said, but I studied to have an Italian accent. Do, do, do. Oh, hey, Dalton, what's up? Whew, who are you calling legend? That's crazy. That is crazy. Um, Hold on, let me continue your messages, Explorer. But even with the skills, sometimes it's hard to push no matter to something more with those skills. But that is why I wanted to stream. But getting going is harder than expected. I understand. Finding the motivation to be consistent is such a hardship. I relate to that. My mom was an opera singer. I have some of that quality. Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully you benefited from those genes. And we'll see what happens in the future. I guess that is a thing for all of us. Well, I guess we'll see what happens in the future. That is, yeah, very true. I guess we'll see what happens in our futures. We've been talking and yapping for about 2 hours, which I think feels really, really good. Because usually we do so much music, and it's like nice to just catch up with you guys and talk. Um, she won Jenny Lind in Bridgeport, Connecticut in 1968, part of the P.T. Barnum. You are referring to things I have no idea. Mostly because I'm Canadian. um, I have no idea what those are. What? Wait. Hold on. That is part of the showman. That's why Burnham was bringing part of that P.T. Barnum. That's the reason why Barnum was ringing a bell. She won Jenny Lind. Hold. Am I understanding correctly that she was performing opera for the Barnum Circus? Hold on. I'm as part of the real thing or a production of it? Whoa, hold on. I need more context. I'm getting confused. I think that's me just yapping too much, and then my brain's like, hey, on vacation. My two brain cells, which you might have seen in the earlier edits of the videos that I did for. I used to refer to my two brain cells and then do like little animations of them like talking. Just like, yeah, I think he's not acting correctly or saying the right thing, or like he's dumb. Kind of acting as an inner voice of sorts. Um, cheers to us all and our futures. I agree. If only we could have something to toast. Clink. And cheer to our futures. This feels like a different like New Year's. It feels like the new year didn't start on January 1st. The new year is starting on February 7th. um okay, hold on. Jenny Lind was an opera singer in the 20s and 30s. P.T. Barnum helped her gain more recognition, right? That's what The Showman was about. Yes, I've seen The Greatest Showman. Love it. From time to time, we'll go back to the soundtrack. Um, are you saying that? So my question is, what do you mean by she won, Jenny Lind? Like there's a prize named after Jenny Lind, and she won that prize? Which I think would make sense. Potentially. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, my brain is like feeling it. Trying to process the information. We've talked about so many different topics in like a span of 2 hours. Um, it's okay, hold on. Abby, you said it's still going to be original and oh wait, no, hold. Oh, you wrote a message that was hold on, removed. What happened? Uh I kind of briefly saw it. Okay, January is canceled. New Year starts in January. And may your goals and dreams come true. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hold on. I see that you retracted the message on the YouTube chat, but it still appeared in my Streamlabs because it got there before you retracted it. So I just read it. Um, so in the time after they started doing these opera concerts where someone would win money in a trip. Okay, and your mom won that. Got it. Okay, wow. She must have had one hell of a voice in that case. And opera singing is indeed beautiful. Dalton, if you were to record a message to yourself for in 10 years from today, what would you tell it? In 10 years. Um, well, I would probably say bring it the mic. Let's have a chat. 39-year-old Zach. Could you imagine I snipped that and I just like set it for publishing in 10 years on my YouTube channel? um okay, Zach, who's 39, about to turn 40. Oh, crazy. Crazy. First of all, how were your 30s? Were they better than your 20s? Because I feel the 20s were full of life lessons. Especially in the romance department. So hopefully that department is doing a lot better now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Did you learn your lessons? That's a big portion of it. If you didn't retain your lessons, well then that's on you, buddy. Um, what's your job now? What's yeah. Because you know what? Like at this point in time, I currently work in marketing. I think I've said in the previous stream, probably my reaction to last year's message that wait, what is happening? Hold on, I just saw the message. What is happening? Michael Michael Bolton sings awesome opera as well. He has an album. Oh, interesting. Um anyway, see I got sidetracked again. What was I saying? Oh yes. At this point in time I've worked 7 full years in marketing. If music and content creation didn't take off in the career style, making it your full time thing, I have a couple of things in mind of paths that I could potentially go down. A, did you go back to school to get your MBA? Because technically, the studies that I did are like a pre university. School system in Quebec is very different, and I kind of did like a technical diploma that's like 3 years long. It's not quite an undergrad, but sort of in a way. So my question is, did you go back to get an MBA to then become a professor in university? I feel like the 40s might just be the right spot for it. Um, yeah. Which now I feel like I'm a little less stressed about doing it ASAP. I feel like I could do it in my second half of the 30s, studies, and then have that job in the 40s. Otherwise, did you launch a business? Did you venture into being an entrepreneur and launch a business? Maybe a dating app. I would probably teach marketing because that's my specialty as a professional job. Um, so like just teach at a business school. I think it would be best or most convenient. Listen, I'll try to be here in a decade. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe in a decade, YouTube won't even exist anymore. I highly doubt it, but I wonder what social media apps are going to be popular in a decade. Um, Hold on, Abby. I just got into my 30s and it feels so much better in my 20s. Aw, that's good. That's great. More clarity of what you want and what you like, and lesser pressure to do what society wants. And that is the frontal lobe fully developing as well. Could I hire you if I ever actually develop and ship a program? Potentially. Potentially. I mean, I'm open to work. Is that crazy? This is like the type of conversation we never have in a regular video, a regular stream. This is fun. I'm gonna have to choose where I stop reacting and where I start reacting in this video, but um yeah. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Zachary in 10 years time. Are you finally in a relationship? Who knows? Who knows? Um do you still live in Canada? I have a feeling that maybe by the age of 35 you decided to move somewhere else. I mean, I would love. Listen, I'll be completely honest. California and the West Coast seems really, really tempting to move there. In the current state of the US, not so much. But I'm assuming maybe in 4 years' time, when things have changed, it could be interesting. And sorry, I just had a notification, which what? I have somebody who's I have a YouTube sub, and the name of the channel or the account is Non-Binary Lesbian Reacts. All right, I'm gonna have to do some research after the stream. Anyway, yeah. Am I still living in Canada, in Quebec? Did I finally purchase property? Is that even a thing now? Is that even affordable? Is that realistic to think in 10 years' time? Did you launch a dating app? I sort of have an idea of a dating app. I spoke about it with a friend of mine. I'm like, maybe I should launch that. It's a great idea, but I don't want to say it out loud because then I don't want it to be stolen. But anyway, um, I love making soap. That is something I do when I have time. Oh, that is so wholesome. Soap making. It's kind of, to me, it falls in the same line as like pottery and just like painting, just like very chill activities. Mm-hmm. You started making fragrances. Whoa. I mean, I have quite a few colognes of my own. Like, I love a good scent. Um, so I like that. I enjoy that. I admire that. Um, this is really just, it's become a yapping stream. I love this. I feel like I'm talking with my friends. I'm just having a chill conversation. I appreciate it. It's fun. I mean, I didn't talk about it all that much, but like I am so grateful for the community that I've built on YouTube and Twitch and Discord. It is crazy to be this, like, to have created this place where people can like trade and talk, exchange, share their passions, share their takes on things, especially music, and just, like speak freely, which I really, really like. I wonder how much of your bucket list you've ticketed off in 10 years' time. Great question, Dalton, which is funny because you're the one who asked about the 10 years thing and we're still on that topic. Um, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot other than what I said earlier this stream, which is like the combination of uh the red carpet hosting Grammys, which maybe by someday I would like to host the actual Grammys, but hosting your Eurovision, the Met Gala, which are wild. These are pretty much the bucket list items that I'd like to achieve one day, which are crazy, but never say never. They say, never say never. Um, Otherwise, it's like, the other things I'd like to do, and I don't know if like in 10 years' time I will have done them. Collab with some of the names that I've been watching for forever. I mention them all the time, but like Valkyrie, Fuzzy, really anybody in that gang. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Uh, Other reactors maybe. I talked about like Life from Mars, H Thais, H whatever. I never know how to pronounce his name. Um, I keep wanting to say Hothays, but it's not the right thing. The reactor to music. There's a bunch of people that have been. Yeah, I would love to like have more connections in that industry and in that domain. and get to interact with them. Because one thing that I think I take with me, and I one of the reasons why my perspective I think is interesting about music is because I worked for marketing at a record label. I've had those conversations internally with the artists, and I've been on the business side of things in music, and I think that's something valuable that I bring to the table to the conversation. And I wish that I could connect with other people about that. Um, who who knows? You know what? That's another question for in 10 years. If I ever went back to work in the music industry, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but maybe I did. You will see some of them on my about page. Wait, hold on. I missed something. I also foster cats. I have too many right now, but then I have a tough time letting them go. Aw. But as long as they're, it's a good family. It's cool. That's cute. You have 5 kittens now. Whoa. Trying to raise money to keep them fed and heat on. Yeah, I get it. Aw, you're so real. And it's always great watching your stream. No way. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. That's really, really sweet. And also, a gnome wanting to donate to help. That is so sweet. That's a great question. Abhishek, hold on. You are also currently living your past dreams right now, like being a YouTuber. So definitely give yourself a pat on the back. So I would like to say something that I don't know if I ever mentioned on stream, but it's one of those things that I'm like, I didn't even do it consciously, and then it kind of hit all of a sudden, which I shouldn't be laughing. It's not the greatest thing, but you know what? Sometimes it's called karma. Okay. Um, your honesty and openness is refreshing. Thanks. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you guys are finding it entertaining, which is the wild part to me. I'm a guy with a mic. That should be my new slogan, a guy with a mic. And then I do plenty of things with a mic. I just like talking it, say jokes, talk about my future self, insecurities. A guy with a mic. You know what? I'm getting inspired. I should do like a mini 30-minute podcast where it's called A Guy with a Mic. And I just talk about what, like a stream of consciousness, a bit like Brittany Broski, but shorter version, just like 30 minutes, kind of vlogging esque. Like, hey, here's what's going on in my life. Here are the thoughts that I have. A guy with a mic. Guam. I like that. It's that guy with a mic. Um, you know what? I don't mind that. I might turn it into something. Or a podcast or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A guy with a mic. Uh, yeah, no, hopefully that it goes well for your stream. You should get back into it. It's fun. It's a great exercise to it's great for the neurons, really. It's fun. Hold on. What was I talking about before? I just realized. Uh before I went the whole like guy with a mic tangent. Um what was I talking about before? Oh, we talked about oh, it was Abby, your message. It was the past streams. Okay, so what I meant to say earlier is one of my exes, when we were dating, wanted to become a content creator. Okay. That was way before I ever started my YouTube channel. My ex had a full setup with like the ring lights and wanted to do fashion and personality, but at the same time, it was unfortunately a very toxic relationship with somebody who definitely had mental health struggles, things to to deal with. Probably not in the healthiest of places to do something like that because, as some of us might know, social media can be a harsh place, especially for self criticism, image, and things like that. And it can take a toll on your mental state. So you really, really have to be, in a good mental place and or have a solid backbone to create content online. Um, and unfortunately, my ex wasn't in a place for that. So anyway, relationship goes down, toxicity, we break up. We had moved in together. My ex moves out, and um, I eventually have my one of my best friends move in, Taylor. Um, and so that was the apartment that I had before, and then we ended up moving to the building where her parents live, because the rent was really amazing, and the that's when I started. And at the same time, I was changing jobs. I started working at the record label. Long story short, I hit a point of frustration at the record label because I didn't have a creative input as much as I hoped that I would have. It was very much like, hey, take whatever we hand off to you, which was not much, and like run campaigns with them. And I'm like, okay, but I guess I don't have much of a say on the creative aspect of things. And as a outlet, because I really wanted to put out my opinion about music and my perspective on things, and both from a musical but also a business perspective. This is how I started my YouTube channel. That's really what pushed me to start it. Although, mind you, I started with the gaming portion, but I realized very quickly that I should be going back because I had tested like many, many years ago music reactions, and I was like, you know what? That's what I need to do. Which has led me on this journey, and that's the reason why we are here today. Um, anyway, all this to say that I uh at some point when I started having a following, okay, on YouTube, I realized that I did what my ex wanted to do. Whoops. I did 100% what my ex had been aspiring to do for a long time. And to be fair, like that relationship did not end on good terms for so right now to me it's funny because it's not quite a revenge thing and I'm not doing it in spite of my ex, but I just hit all of a sudden that I was like, wow, my ex who talked about doing this for so long, between my ex and I'm the one who did it. So it's funny how life works out sometimes, you know? Um, it might hurt, but to be fair, my ex is blocked off of everything. So I don't know how much they're aware of everything I've done. Um, yeah. It's really funny how life works out. And then you think about like, I've spoken about it before, not that I want to repeat myself, but the two people that recognized me when I was in California last summer, the YouTube marketing employee and a fellow content creator who's been in the game for 10 years, who recognized me. That was a sweet feeling. And listen, I'm not a vengeful person. I don't go out saying, I'm going to get you back one day. With the exception of one thing, I would like to have my face on an advertisement on the bus in the middle of the city so that my exes see my face and be reminded of what they missed out on. But this is kind of like half jokingly anyway. It's a very like rom-com type of thing. I don't mean it with like, want to control and dominate. It's really just like, it'd be funny as hell if that happened, you know? Or that I buy a I show up on a billboard right across from where they live so they get reminded about me. Anyway, um we are really tackling so many different things today. That's crazy. But I yeah, that's that. I that happened. I so back to your point, Abby, just about the past streams. It's crazy that like to me there's always something else. There's always something bigger, and I think it helps keep me driven and helps keep me pushing forward. And sometimes I forget about everything I've accomplished in the past, which is not a great thing. Um, but I'm very much like I will say it's okay to be to think petty sometimes. But I will say that I'm somebody who still okay. Well, two things. Which oh, by the way, I'm gonna have to show something at some point. Um, well, actually, I might. I can't do it because of copyright purposes, I think. But something happened this week, which I haven't shared all that much. But two of my favorite content creators of all time on the internet, Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart, have a podcast, and they have this thing where they can have a call in, but it's like really just somebody recording a voice memo and sending it to them by email. And I submitted a question to them, and they picked it up and they played it on the podcast. And so I can share the link. I just don't think I can play it on YouTube, and I'm scared that I might cut off the stream because it's like watching somebody else's content potentially. But although it's not exactly copyrighted, it's not like a movie or something or a live stream. Anyway, I probably won't test it because we're streaming on YouTube as we speak. But my question was chosen, and they answered it, and he really had a good time, and so that was really funny to watch in the podcast episode they released this week, which is called "This Might Get Weird." It's at the if you want to look it up, the question that I sent in and they answered, it's at the 44-minute mark of the latest episode that they put out. This Might Get Weird with Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart. Um, why was I saying this? I completely forgot, and I saw your message unknown. I will get back to it. Oh yeah, on two different levels. I have a bit of a hard time taking credit or taking compliments. One on a physical level of like whenever I get a compliment on my physicality, and it's happened recently because I posted pictures of myself, and like I always have a couple of messages that come in and like like whatever, and I'm still not there. Like I was the kid in elementary school and high school that was the late bloomer, that was bullied, that was probably amongst the least attractive kids of the bunch, that never dated in high school. So to me, I think I still have the psychological um, effects or consequences of that childhood, where it's like I can't take I don't have the confidence, physically speaking. Um, and then the other thing as well is I I value compliments of over no, hold on. I value compliments about what I achieve and what I execute over what I am. In a sense of like somebody will say, "Oh, you're so good at this." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Um, but somebody will be like, "Hey, by the way, great job on that thing that you did." And I'm like, "That's the biggest compliment in the world anybody could give me." I still have a hard time taking it, but I'm definitely more comfortable with a compliment on an accomplishment than a compliment on a thing about me. Um, sometimes I'm too relatable. Listen, guys, I'm on a screen on whatever device that you're holding or sitting in front of. But the reality is I'm a human at the end of the day. I'm no different. Um, you only get to see the fun parts. You don't get to see when I cry out of frustration, which doesn't happen often, but like it has happened in the past. You don't get to see when I'm like at my low point of like I don't feel like doing anything and my kitchen's a mess. Let alone you don't see my kitchen. So you get the good parts. That's why. But I'm very much a human as much as other people, and um, that's what it means to be human and to live the human experience. Anyway, I to get back to your message unknown. Oh, I see. Not as sweet or innocent. It's okay. We all got a bit of that mean streak. It's satisfying sometimes. Then again, it's not purely out of revenge or spite. It's out of the humor. I'm somebody who likes dark humor, who likes like situational comedy. Um, and I feel like it would just be so funny. It's not like, oh, I'm better, or like it's not an ego boost. It's really just like that's hilarious. I will say that I was on a date. What is it was in November. It was someone who didn't work out with. That's a whole story. Um, the it was a first date actually. We talked about my YouTube channel. And while my date was gone to the bathroom remotely, he put one of my oldest videos on YouTube on the TV while I was by myself in the living room. When I had long blonde hair, I was like, that's fucking funny. See, situational comedy is where it's at to me, you know? That's what I like a lot. But, oh my God, my throat. I can't believe I've just spent 2 hours and a half just yapping. That's crazy. Um, yeah, that's just life. I'm riding the wave. I'm riding the wave. Um, I think I never formally concluded what I would say to my future self in 10 years. Let me get back to that. Same here, but these days I try to say thank you for someone when someone compliments me or my work because that's part of loving and respecting ourselves and respecting our work. That is true. It's something that you come to terms with age. And I have gotten a lot better than I used to be before. Um, I take it, I say thank you, and I really appreciate it. I feel less awkward with it than I used to. So yeah, I completely understand what you mean. Um, yeah. Anyway, Zach, in 10 years, if I had a message for you, it's you know what? I do have a message for you. Not a question, not a hypothesis about what could or could not happen. If there is one thing, I guess, in a very humble manner, that I appreciate about myself and I wish I don't lose, is actually two things. A, my curiosity and my desire to learn. And it's something that I hope I never, ever lose. Um, it's, I think it's so important to ask questions, to explore things, to try to understand things. It's healthy, it's good for the brain. Um, it's part of the journey of seeking to get better all the time. And yeah, I just I hope that the next decade is. It's funny because it feels like I'm doing a birthday stream that I'm turning 30 and I'm like to my 40-year-old self. But I hope that in 10 years time, dear future Zach, you didn't lose uh that curiosity. And then I guess the other portion of it would be I think that when things go well, because sometimes they don't, and it changes the entire tone of the situation, and framing is super important to like frame situations and perspectives in a certain way, but sometimes I lose sight of that. But when things are pretty balanced, I'm the type of person that enjoys the little things. I like to cook at home by myself. I put music on and I sing and I sort of dance and I just make up recipes with whatever ingredients that I have. And I just really enjoy the moment that I'm like proud of these little things that I do. I'm like, oh, I created a brand new recipe and I really, really liked it and it was good. And I enjoy the small things as much as I enjoy the big things and the big accomplishments. Sure, like I'm not saying those aren't important, but I really, I think the 20s have taught me how I'm gonna go further than that. Yes, the 20s, but I'm gonna be real for a second. When my dad passed away when I was 18, it was sad. It was tragic. It was from sickness. It wasn't from health. I had the chance to say goodbye. I had a very, let's say, respectful amount of closure. Is probably the way that I would put it. And that allowed me, I think, to look at the silver lining um, of the entire situation and take away some extraordinary life lessons. Mind you, I feel like I was an old soul when I was young, so I might have been ahead of my age. But anyway, as part of life lessons, because I used to be that kind of kid that would rush through things and like I would try a new project for 2 weeks and I would abandon it right away, and it was always about the next thing. Losing my dad at the age of 18 forced me to stop. It forced me to take a moment to take care of myself, to enjoy the moment. And I think that one thing that I retained out of all the lessons is what I just said, which is I've learned to enjoy the little things in life because some people get it taken away. Um, I saw a father who worked his entire life for retirement and then didn't even get to see retirement because my dad passed away at the age of 54. So, um, yeah, I think that it's one of the life lessons that I've carried through the last decade to enjoy the little things. And I really, and when I mean enjoy them, I mean truly find some well of happiness in some of the little things. Um, and I've tried my best. And it's probably one of the things that really kept my head above water at sometimes. To just like the little activities or to go shopping and just people watch um or just driving. Like I love to drive distances. Some people go like, "Are you crazy driving?" Like if I would drive 7 hours to meet up with someone, they were like, "That's so long," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I really enjoyed the road there, and I really enjoyed listening to music and singing out loud in my car the entire ride, and um, yeah, yeah, just enjoying the little moments." So for the Zach in 10 years, which I still haven't forgotten about you, I hope that You've remained curious and you're still able to find happiness in the little things. And you're in a good spot. That the 30s were good to you. Yeah. That got real for a second, didn't it? um, that's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, honestly, great question from Dalton. And I have just went all in on it. Um, it felt good to speak. It felt good to open up and talk about things like that. I'll be honest, I wasn't too much in the mood to like react to music. I feel like I've covered a lot of projects recently as well, and although I music, I feel like music is my one true love. I just tonight I needed a little bit of a different pacing, a different speed, and this really was what I needed tonight. Yeah, so thank you guys. Oh, this got me emotional. Sorry. Too real, but that's much needed. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I needed to have this. It's crazy. I needed to have that conversation out loud, especially after the last 2 months I've had. I really had, well, 2025 was a rough year, and for different reasons. And then the last 2 months were pretty rock and roll and highs and lows and highs and lows. And so it feels good to kind of process this. And I'm not gonna lie, the thought of turning 30 has given me a lot of anxiety over the last year. I feel like there's so much that I have left to accomplish, and I feel like I'm not as fast as possible. All the meanwhile, I'm feeling the changes of the age. Like I'm feeling the physical changes and the pressure to take care of my body, for example. And there's a slight concern that comes with it of like if I'm not careful now, I'm gonna live the consequences later. So there's a bit of pressure that comes with it, and yeah, it felt nice to just like open up and talk about things like that, and just speak my mind, unfiltered. It's almost like therapy. Honestly, this really almost felt like therapy. Um, wow. Can you believe it? We've been talking for 2 hours and a half. Nothing else. It's me opening my big ass mouth on stream. And that's it. And that's all. Like, what is life? What is life? That's crazy. That I have that I have people that actually stay here. That's the other thing that blows my mind away. I don't know if you can say that if that's an expression, but I'm blown away or blows my mind. Anyway, it's that people stick around to watch me talk. I'm like, I can't believe I'm interesting enough for people to stick around. Still blows my mind. Hello there, Ram. Hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. You're gonna have to catch up on YouTube on this one. We all need our YouTube therapy. Aw. You know what? That's another great idea for a segment that should have YouTube therapy. Heard what Justin Bieber did. Huh? What did he do aside from the Grammy performance? Oh, you're doing great. Ah, good. Um, yeah, I didn't even talk all that much about the Grammys. I did watch it. It was an okay year. Kind of surprised that really I mean, it's a great song, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of surprised that she won it. Some gap or loophole in the rules because technically the song was officially released as part of the album in the previous cycle. I'm surprised that it got nominated, that it was eligible for a nomination anyway. Gaga had the best performance, hands down, in my opinion. The cinematography was fantastic. Uh, he will testify, submitted a video to court as well. Like a deposition? About what? What news did I miss? And if you tell me it's about the Diddy case, I'm. The Grammys are. You know, the older I get, the more I understand the political side of the Grammys or any type of awards. Like, it gets a little. I don't want to say weird, but here's what happens with any sort of like organization, right? So it gets tricky because if you go for the public to vote for prizes, it will not necessarily be like the artist that deserves it the most will be nominated and win. It'll be just a question of how big their fan base is and how engaged they are. Um, Whereas if you look at an academy of sorts, depending who started, there's a whole like systemic process of like it's this exclusive membership, and then some people have an easier time accessing the exclusivity because they just were at the right place at the right time or born with the right attributes, the right skin color, unfortunately, or the right location or things like that. And there's like a whole like systemic portion of like things are the way they are because of history and blah blah blah. And so that creates some sort of like unconscious bias in the voting process. So none of them are really reliable, but then there isn't any other real solution. So yeah, prizes are weird. Some of them can be bought, like the Webbies. And you got to pay to register for them. The whole goal is to make money anyway for them. I knew it, Zach. When I came across your channel, I would stick around. It's literally been a year and a half, and I'm still here. It's just your personality. Aw, thank you, Unknown. That's really heartwarming. Um, can't quite fathom that my personality is like that or creates this type of outcome, but I certainly take it. I appreciate it. It's really, really sweet. Um, yeah, yeah, but just quickly back about the Grammys. I mean, I called it. Kendrick won for the album of the year. Um, what else? Very happy that Olivia Dean won New Artist of the Year. I also called it, but very well deserved. Beautiful surprise that Messi won. Is it Song of the Year or Record of the Year? One of them, or Pop Record. One of the prizes, but Messi won. Congratulations to Lola Young. I still have yet to listen to her music. I was considering getting into it tonight, actually, but I think I'm gonna keep it for later. Um, I think Tyler the Creator had a great performance as well. Yeah, Tyler and Gaga really had the top two, in my opinion. They created moments, whereas I feel the other performance didn't create that many moments. You know? Wow. Scammies. And I wasn't a fan of Billy win too, but I have been playing Wildfire on loop. As a Gaga fan, I wanted her to win main categories, but I'm glad for her 2 wins. She was amazing. I don't think she would have won Album of the Year regardless. Like I really enjoyed that album. I think it's a great album. I think it's a solid album. But to me, when I compare it to I think the epitome of albums that I now hold to a standard, any other album, is, and it's a monumental, to quote Adele specifically, album. Lemonade by Beyonce changed my brain chemistry about the music. It contained sounds that I don't usually listen to, but it is quite literally an art piece. And I know that not everybody's a Beyonce fan. I get that. That's fine. That's normal. But for the sake of music, for the sake of understanding what it takes to create an exemplary project that is cohesive, that is storytelling, that the album makes sense as a whole project and it's not just a bunch of songs thrown onto the same playlist. I highly recommend that everybody checks out and listens at least once to Lemonade by Beyonce. Just once. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like listen to it on repeat, but study it once as a project. Read the lyrics, listen to the production in order. I get pissed off when people listen to albums not in order. I don't know why people do this. It drives me insane because songs are supposed to be, they're meant to be listened to in order. Um, so yeah, anyway, all this to say that I kind of hold albums to that standard. When I think of like, an album that I would have given like a perfect score. And um and I meant to say something else. Anyway, I forgot. Yeah, was this the first year the Grammys had the all new artist nominees perform? Because not gonna lie, I wonder why this wasn't done before. I feel I feel like they did that last year as well. But it is relatively new. It hasn't always been like that. But I feel like last year they also had some sort of medley for the new artists, for the artists of the year, a new artist of the year. I'm saying this from memory, but okay. Oh, that's the other thing that I wanted to say. I love Adele. She has amazing projects. 25 was a great album, but Adele was correct. Lemonade was monumental, especially for women. That should have won album of the year. That's one prize that like Beyonce should have had her Grammy for album of the year a long time ago because of Lemonade. Beyonce, the album was great. I can understand why people could debate whether or not it was a album of the year. Fine, but Lemonade, I still don't get it. That is probably due to the systemic issues with the Academy of a longer history of white male dominated members, strongly country leaning, folk leaning, indie leaning, um, and they don't have the same level of appreciation for the R&B, hip hop, um, music genres. It'll come around with time, but It's part of the journey. Part of the journey, huh? Okay. Um, I think, unless you guys have any other questions or any ideas of what you want me to talk about, this has been kind of this nearly 3 hour podcast, which is crazy. Unless we get into some karaoke or something. But any last thoughts or questions, guys? Or as I like to say it, thoughts? No, hold on. Questions, comments, or violent reactions? We've kind of hit the Q&A portion of the of today's video, which is funny. I guess I'm not doing a music reaction at all today. Um, I'm feeling it in my voice that I will not be able to sustain this much longer. True. Love that Leon got some recognition. I'm happy for him. It was a long time coming. Long time coming. Um yeah. Yeah. But I'm happy that Olivia Dean won. She's got that star quality. Her singing, the soul in her voice. Hmm. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else to say. That's it. Okay. I just realized, is there any caffeine in there? There is. So I am not going to bed anytime soon. But my voice will need a break before it breaks. And then tomorrow I'm having some friends over to watch the Super Bowl. I prepared some ribs earlier today that I'm going to put in the oven. Okie dokie, guys. What a fun stream that was. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to chat and catch up. And I will be clipping the video for in 10 years' time. For next year that I'm going to put on YouTube, but also now the entire stream is going to be available on YouTube. Um, and I might create social media bits from that. We'll see. I'm also retaining the idea of a guy with a mic. I might do like little 30-minute things like this, just a guy with a mic. And we'll talk about kind of a Brittany Broski meets you know, the Broski report. I don't know, just like a solo type of quick show, shorter than other episodes because depends on the content that I have. I might just like keep my little stories and anecdotes and record a short episode once in a while. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. You are okay. Hold on. Unknown. I really enjoyed Sombra's performance, but yeah, Olivia Dean stole the show. I agree. I agree. You were talented. Is that AF? Thank you, Abhishek. I still think your Agatha reaction is one of your best in quality. Keep slaying. Yay. Take rest and may you keep finding it the small joys of life as well as to achieve big goals. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um I should be back later this week. We're gonna do I might postpone Lily Allen to much later. But Rosalia is up next. And whatever other release that's gonna happen next Friday. And oh Jesus. Sorry. Get ready to jam to Bad Bunny. Hope we've all learned enough Spanish to understand him. I know a little bit, not all that much, but enough to get around. So hopefully I'll catch on to some things. But I'm not extremely familiar with his discography, so it'll just be a good time, good vibes, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. I think that's it for tonight. Thank you guys once again. I appreciate your presence so much. It's really, some might say, life changing. But it's just great to have this company and be able to exchange with you guys, and it's very validating. Oh my god, my voice is actually giving out on me. I need to wrap it up. But I appreciate you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves, to other people around you as well. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, whatever you are bound to do and you have on your to-do list. And I will catch you on the next stream sometime next week. Hopefully Tuesday. We'll see. Anyway, bye.